Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with this Honda GX Industrial Engine, and today I'm going to run you through how you can fault find a no spark condition on one of these Honda GX engines. Now what we've got here is actually a GX160, however this procedure is going to be applicable to all of your Honda GX light industrial engines, the 120s, the 140s, as well as the 160s, etc. Now this engine's actually a really common engine, which you're going to find in a lot of applications. This one happens to be on a Davey Firefighter pump, but you'll also find them on generators, sand compactors, etc. Many applications. So let's get into how we can fault find a no spark condition on one of these little engines. So to start with, we want to locate this bundle of wires here that's located alongside the on-off switch of your Honda engine. So what we want to do is we want to just grab that and just wriggle that a little bit so that connector pops out. And then what we want to do is we actually want to just take this little connector. So just ease that off, just release the clips and remove that completely so that we can get this bundle of wires all separated, just like that. And you can see that one there has popped out straight away. So coming from the top here is the main wire that goes back to the ignition coil. And this is the wire that is used to switch the engine off. What actually happens is when that wire is grounded, you lose all spark to the engine and the engine switches off. So if we follow that, that keeps coming down, and from this point it goes in two directions. It comes across to your main switch to switch the engine off that way, or it comes across to this diode here and then down to this sensor. Now that's actually a low oil, crankcase oil level sensor. So if your crankcase oil gets too low, it'll ground the engine through this path back to your ignition coil and switch the engine off. So pretty cool little safety device, but let's check out how we can fault find all of this. So we've grabbed our multimeter, set it to ohms so that we can measure the resistance, and turned it on. So the first thing we're going to do is to check the oil sensor here. So unplug that connection, and we're going to put one end of our multimeter there, and let's put the other simply onto the crankcase, and you can see we've got an overload situation there. So there's clearly not a direct short to ground. The other thing that we can check is go like this, nothing there. So whereas if we connect the two probes, that's a dead short. So we know that there's no dead short here, so the sensor is working properly. Now we flick that back to ohms. So the next thing we're going to test is this diode here. So to do that, we'll just unplug the diode connection here like that. We've got our multimeter back in the ohm setting. Let's check the diode. So one way we've got a reading, so 2.83 ohms. Let's check the diode the other way, and here we go to overload. So that's absolutely how the diode should be operating, so that's all good. So now the next thing we want to test is the connection to ground on the kill switch. So we've got in the off position right now, so hit that to the crankcase. We've got a small reading there, and when we switch to the on position, we go to a high reading. Now, the other thing we can do with that is we can switch it to our beep sound, our continuity test like we did before. Just show you. Okay, so come back to our kill switch and put one end in here. We are in the on position, so there should not be a short to ground. Go to the off position. We can hear a short to ground there. So switch is absolutely operating correctly. So knowing that all of this circuitry on this side of the engine checks out perfectly, the next thing we want to do is to check the coil itself, and to do that we are going to need to remove this whole red cover here. So we are going to need to remove this wire in here, so let's just remove this connector here, and that's going to allow us to take that cover off now completely. So to remove the red cover, we are going to need a 10mm socket. So just jump in there. I've got a couple of extensions on that just to get it out. one there, another one down here, and then there's a couple over this side as well. And one up in here. So then we should be able to just get this cover out just like that. So with this cover off and out of the way, we can then see the coil. We have the coil just in here, right there. So now we're going to test the coil just to see it's good as well. So the first thing I like to check is the air gap between the coil and the flywheel, because this is what's got magnets in it that induce the electromagnetic force into the coil to produce the spark. Now that should be a 0.4 millimeter gap between the coil and that flywheel. And most people don't have any sorts of measuring devices, but if you get a piece of paper, I like to just run a piece of paper between the two, and that normally does the trick for me. So let's get this piece of paper in there now, and you can see just in there that I can just slide that piece of normal paper in there. So that's just a perfect amount of air gap from my perspective. So pull that out now. So now we're going to test the resistance of the coil, and we're going to start by testing the primary side. We've got our multimeter set up and it's on ohms again. So to test the primary side, we locate the wire on this side which runs across to the coil like that, put our lead in there, and then with the other lead just come and touch the surface of the coil. Might need to give it a bit of a scratch. And we can see there it comes to 1.9 ohms, so that's just perfect. If I scratch a bit more, it might be a little bit less. 1.2 ohms on this clean bit there, so that's perfect. So next we want to check out the secondary side of the coil. So to do that, we need to come around here and pop the spark plug boot off, just like that. And then once again, we're going to measure resistance with our multimeter, so it's in the ohm setting. We get the spark plug boot and stick one end of our probe inside there and get a good contact there, and then the other on our coil, and let's go for the nice shiny surface. And here we can see this is reading 14.9 kilo ohms, so it's at the upper end of where it should be. You know, if you want a really strong spark, it's probably around at the 11-12 kilo ohms, but I know these engines will absolutely still run with a 15 kilo ohms on the secondary side of the coil. So that's just perfect. So then the final thing we need to test is our spark plug. So grab our spark plug tool and pop him on like that and give that a turn. And then we can just thread that spark plug out and grab him like that. So to test the spark plug, once again we use our multimeter. And to start with, we put one probe up on the top, and then the other probe we come down in here onto the spark plug there, onto the tip, and you can see we're getting a reading there of about 6 kilo ohms. That's about normal for a good plug. You might see them down at 4 kilo ohms if they're getting a bit old. And then the next thing we want to do is just to ground onto the body of the spark plug, and you can see we're getting a reading that's absolutely off the charts in the mega ohms. So we've got a good healthy spark plug there. If we get a short across to the body, you can see there's no short when we set it on the continuity. There's no beeping sound. If we got a short or didn't have that massive resistance reading, we would know there was a breakdown in insulation. However, as we can see, this is a good spark plug. So with everything absolutely checked out as okay for this engine from an electrical perspective, let's get the front cover on, all of those wires hooked back up, and let's check for spark. So in that time lapse, you may have seen me struggle to get the top bolt in on this side because it's so far back and you can't really get your fingers in there. So I did a little bit of trick there with some masking tape in the end of my socket, which I just pushed in with that bolt, and that just holds the little bolt in just snug enough so you can just get it in there with the tool and do it up. So then let's get all of this wiring back together here. So you've got the main wire that goes across to the coil. So the first thing we want to do is to find the wire which goes down to the kill switch, which then separates into two, as we talked about in the beginning. So plug that in there, nice and firm. And then we need to find from there the wire which goes to the diode. So hook that in just like that black wire there, and then finally the yellow wire which goes down to the low level crankcase oil sensor, and plug that in just like that. So then the final thing to do is to get this clip back on. So just bring those wires around just like that, and we can simply push that together and rotate that back around and plug that in just like that nicely. And then to test for spark, I like to use this lead, which is just end to end. And what I do, instead of holding a spark plug onto the metal of the chassis, I simply use that and I put the other end to ground onto the engine block. So let's make sure we've got him switched on like that. We'll pop the spark plug into the top of the spark plug holder. And then we find a convenient spot right in on the engine block normally, just to put the other end of that earth strap, and then we pull the handle and check for spark. And just like that, we've absolutely got spark. So let's get the plug back in. So knowing it's got good spark, let's give it a test start. So turn it on at the switch, come around here, make sure the fuel's switched on, give it a full choke, and set the revs probably about halfway, and we'll give it a pull. So switch that choke to the off position. So there you go, folks. What a beauty. You've fixed the spark and you've got your Honda GX engine running again. If you have liked this video, give us a like and drop a comment down below. It's truly appreciated. And in the future, if you're interested in learning about DIY, maintenance and servicing, we do a bunch of small engines, a lot of lawnmowers, other small engines on the channel. You might see a few videos on this little Honda GX engine, change the oil, so check out the playlist for that. And also on the channel, we do a bunch of automotive servicing and repairs. On the channel, we've got the Mercedes ML Class, the Audi A3, the Mazda 3, the early Ford Falcon, there's a little Holden Barina that pops in occasionally, and a BMW Z4, so there really is something for everyone. And if you're interested in any of that content, do remember to subscribe to the channel. But as I say, folks, until next time, have a good evening.